Hi, everybody. It's Stacy Sobel with Salon Today, and I'm here with Georgina Davis from the Cosmetology Education Group. You are the founder of this group. Very important. You help stylists get with the recertification classes, and you also help salons start schools, and schools get the curriculum going. So tell us a little bit about your group and how it works.
With Cosmetology Education Group, majority of our business, probably about 80% of our business is online. And that's where the recertification or continuing education plays in. And so we do offer continuing education to 8 different states right now and expanding. And so students can get on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to take their classes, which has been very convenient. And so they'll be able to get on, pay for their classes, take them, get a certification. Most states issue an immediate certification. There's a couple states that we work with that they have to submit their information into, maybe a university or another board for approval. So that's part of our business. The other part is working with salons, doing consulting, and also cosmetology schools. We found that a lot of salon owners or individuals start up beauty schools. And so that's where we come into play, because there really isn't a playbook out there of how to start a beauty school. Not that there isn't for salons, but it's more prevalent out there for salons than it is beauty schools.
Yeah, and I imagine there are a lot. I've known a lot of owners personally that have opened schools, and it's a great, when you're at a certain point in your business, it's a great initiative to do, because then you've got a constant feeding ground of new talent that you can source, especially if you're a multi-salon owner, you can source your business from. But you're also, you're committed to this industry and bringing new talent into it and educating them is great. But starting a school is a big endeavor. So what are some of the things that your group helps them with?
Well, we do anything. We kind of a la carte our services because we found everybody has different knowledge levels. And so what we do is we kind of a la carte and send them a list of what can we help you with? Is it state board paperwork? That kind of thing. Is it getting through for your curriculums, for what textbook you want to use, to your equipment and supplies? Who are your vendors? That kind of thing. I have started to work out like different software companies that we work with, or different companies, just because I want to give them choices. And that's what they're looking for, is they don't even know where to start. They just think going down to the local, beauty supply place, not knowing I'll just pick up these products and start a school. And that's not necessarily how it always works. So we kind of do some resources for them. We also help them find staff. A lot of people, hey, I have a manager, but I might not have instructors. So we help them find staff also.
Now you said 8 states. What states are those?
Yes, we reside in Minnesota. We also reside in South Carolina. And so we have South and North Carolina, South Dakota, Montana, I got to think, Wisconsin, Nebraska is one of our states, and Illinois.
Now, we also see you live some places, and I know that I've seen you at America's Beauty Show doing training for recognizing signs of sexual abuse. And that's, is that a requirement in Illinois? Is that why it's held at America's Beauty Show, or is that something that states are requiring that hairdressers take?
Illinois does require it, their state board. That was prior to COVID. I had reached out to Chicago cosmetologists for the America's Beauty Show and talked about possibly doing it online for them. And so we kind of got connected really during COVID, when online learning was obviously very prevalent. And so I had started out with it's a 1-hour sexual harassment training. Sexual harassment prevention training is what it is. And so we had kind of taken the salon ideas of, okay, what would be perceived as sexual harassment? We did some videos, and then we kind of followed what Illinois requires for that particular training. And so we offered it online, which was great because that's for the renewal. And then 3 years ago, Illinois had called and said, hey, would you want to do it at the America's Beauty Show? And I said no at first. I was like, that's the hardest class to actually teach. How do you teach a sexual harassment prevention training in person? So I just said, well, I'll give it a shot and we'll see how it goes. And that was one of their renewal years. So we had a huge area where we were training. So we had up to 200 students at a time in the
And
classes.
lines, long lines out in the hallway, I remember.
Yes. So I wasn't quite sure how it was going to go the first year that we did it. When you're just standing up there, and basically I started to think, as hairdressers, we kind of like hands-on stuff. And because I am an instructor, I teach in the schools. So I figured out how to do the sexual harassment prevention training hands-on. So I would bring up models and do some kind of demonstrations. And basically we had a little fun with it, even though, like I said, it's a serious discussion that we're having, but we kind of had a fun time doing it and talking about it and how we can, prevent it from happening, and then what the signs are for it. So, we're going back again this next year. And so we've been going back every year, and it seems to be a good class to have, and we'll see how long it continues, but we do still offer it online, but in person, it seems to be at the show. A lot of people attend that class too.
So where do let's talk about stylists for a minute. Where do they go right now on your website? I poked around a little bit there. It's organized by state, but because I'm not licensed, I couldn't see the classes by state because I couldn't register. So talk about kind of when you go in, you're organized by state and you see what kind of classes are there, and then you select, or do you pay for them? Or
yeah, good question. So our website is cosmetologyedgroup.com. So it's short for education. So cosmetologyedgroup.com. And so, yes, we do specify it by state because it's easiest that way. So they would select their state in a drop down, and then you can see the catalog of the classes that we offer, but otherwise they can really create an account, which it's a free account. It's just basically your name, address, email address, that kind of thing, and they can get in. It's not required to create that to see it, but then they can see the classes that are offered from that state specifically. And there's a description on there of what the class is about, who it's offered for, because, like Minnesota, we have cosmetologists, estheticians, we have advanced practice estheticians, we have eyelash technicians, and so forth. So everything is kind of itemized per those categories. And then we have instructors. So Minnesota is probably one of the highest states for continuing ed for instructors. We have 45 hours of continuing education. So it's good to, itemize it out, and then they basically get to click on it. They know how much it costs. They start the class immediately. Most of our classes we give them 7 to 14 days to take the classes, depending on what they are. We also do offer licensure. So Minnesota, we offer, it just changed to a 45-hour instructor course. And so we do offer that on our website. And so you can actually sign in, but you have to be from Minnesota and licensed in Minnesota in order to take that instructor course.
Okay, so you can license to become an instructor, or you can get your continuing education hours. And does it show you with each class how many hours you're going to get? And
yes, it'll tell you. Some classes are 2 hours, some are 1 hour, some are 4 hours, some are 8 hours. It just depends on the class and what everybody needs. Yes.
Right. Okay. And then you also help salons. So how do you help salons when they're educating their team members?
So we do, recently I just went in and we did a salon owner let us know, like, hey, my staff doesn't want to do it online. Can you come in? And so a group of us went in and did a continuing education class in person. I have done that, and that was an 8-hour class for Minnesota. So we were in doing hands-on and demonstrations and things like that. And I have actually had a owner from Illinois asked me to do a 1-hour sexual harassment training via Zoom. So we've done that too. And that's interesting to have everybody on Zoom and try to do as much as you can that way. So there's just different techniques. We either go in person, online. But yes, love education. I'm licensed in Minnesota and South Carolina myself. So I've been licensed for over 30 years. So I just love education.
Well, Georgina, thank you very much. This has been very interesting to find out more about Cosmetology Education Group and how no matter where you are in your stage of your career, education is always important to know how you support that. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Appreciate it.